What's up, y'all? I am Tara M. Williams. This is Tea Time with Tara. You have a voice and it needs to be heard. We are in our 6th year, and this year our show is being brought to you by marykay.com/lavish life, where I am your independent beauty sales consultant. Our show today is being presented by our Clear Proof Acne System, as we have here, or the Clear Proof Acne System on the go. This is for anybody dealing with acne or blemishes. It is for all skin types, y'all. It also does not come with, but features a charcoal mask, which is good for any skin type as well, not just if you have issues with acne, but if you want to target your T zone or other troublesome spots on your face. Now, some of you may not know, Mary Kay does have men products for facial washes or hydration for your skin. They also have beard washes as well. If you need any more information or products on Mary Kay or skincare, please visit www.marykay.com/lavish life, again, where I am your independent beauty consultant. Or you can call 225-405-1086 and place your order directly with me.
I ain't tryna be stubborn, but I could use some self-loving. I ain't gotta say nothing. They already know how I'm coming. I've been working on me. I've been loving on me. I had to learn to love myself. And no, I don't mind no help. I'd rather do it myself. No, I don't mind no help. I'd rather do it myself. I've been working on me. I've been loving on me. I had to learn to love myself.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. This is Tea Time with Tara. You have a voice and it needs to be heard. Today, joining our show is Fatama Moorer. She is a community leader, mother of 3, writer, lover of all things yoga, and she's a dance machine, y'all. So with Fatama, we asked her, what is a must-have on your journey as you stalk your destiny? And she said, value. So do you want to tell us a little bit about why you chose value?
Well, actually, value is in your ABC Stalk Your Destiny book. And so I really like this book. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to your page that you wrote in here. If you have this book, those that have this book, it would be on page 107, which is really good. And so, is it okay that I read a little bit of it? What I read? Okay, so it says, "What is your value? Where do you place your value on things? The answer to these questions shape where you place your focus, and where your focus is direction. And I'm sorry, and where you focus is the direction you will go. Be sure you don't waste any more time on the things that you have nothing to do with what you value and where you are headed." For me right there, it takes me all the way back from the beginning of my journey, way
Mm-hmm.
before I was the person I am today,
Okay.
because I did waste a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know exactly where I was headed, where I'm going. And I think now, only 2 days into 2023, even in 2022, even in 2021, I knew exactly where I'm heading,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I didn't know a lot about my value. Back then I didn't have no idea of what I was worth, because I didn't know
Right.
what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was capable of. And
Mm-hmm.
having such a good coach, which is my best friend, gave me a different outlook on my own life. And when someone actually tells you that you're worthy of something, if someone else is truly believing in your journey and your mission, that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone else sees a light in you and you don't see that within yourself, then you need to check yourself, because
Right.
they're not just saying it out of nothing. They're saying it because they actually see the growth in yourself. So sometimes we have to sit back and actually see the growth within yourself. So in this book, there are lots of amazing words in here that can get you to your destiny. But for myself, I value myself, and being a mother, working at 9, being a best friend to others or friends to others, I still need to know my true value. And I'm worth a lot, not just, I don't know,
We're going to talk about that worth.
little here and there, but I feel like when you said, don't be discouraged when others don't value you as you believe you are worth, that is very powerful to me, because I didn't have that. I didn't understand it. I didn't have that. I didn't think anybody really valued me because of everything that I was going on. And I had to realize that God values me. So
Okay, hold up. So, so to let you guys know, our topic today is knowing what matters. And so she needed value on her journey to stalking her destiny. And that's what we're going to be talking about with guests all year. What do you need for your journey to stalk your destiny? And so one of the things that she needs is value. And so in knowing what matters, you have to be one of the things that matters.
Yeah.
And you have to matter enough, not just to other people, as Fatama was saying, but you have to also matter to yourself, and then what was the last thing you just said?
The last one was don't be discouraged when others don't value you as you believe you are worth.
Exactly. And so one of the things I was going to bring up was Mary and Martha in the Bible. Yeah. And this is about placing value on things, or on service. And so when Jesus was coming to visit Mary and Martha, Mary sat at the foot of Jesus. She stopped working. Her value was on God. Her value was on that time with God, the time at his feet. But Martha was so busy preparing for the Lord, and preparing a place for God to be, that's where her value was, opposed to getting that time, where either one of them right or wrong. No, it just depends on your season, and it depends on your perspective. Yeah. But let's say Jesus was judging them on, his worth, and seeing if they were treating him the way he thought he should be treated.
Right.
Then there may have been issues there. But when you know your worth, and you can, like God just sat there. Jesus just sat there and said, like, why don't you stop what you're doing over there? Because you clearly value me over here, and come this way. And so a note that I wrote from my book, as I saw in there too. And so the book is the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, in case you don't know. And that book is available on Amazon.com or at stalkyourdestiny.com/shop. And so it goes from A to Z, literally, on how to stalk your destiny, or what you need, in order to stalk your destiny. And so what I took out of there for this was value helps you navigate where you will go on your journey and which direction you will take. Yeah. And so you kind of mentioned that knowing your worth helps you to figure out which way to go, because then you can make the decision for yourself. And a lot of people don't, they might overvalue themselves, and that may be false, just a false projection of my self-worth, where I'm covering up everything I'm feeling on the inside, and I'm just going to show you the pretend on the outside. And that's where other people can eat away at you, on that. And so let me ask you this. This is our icebreaker question. Y'all can chime in the comments. Tell us what you need to stalk your destiny too. But, you chime in the comments on this icebreaker question. If you were a piece of art, how much would you cost? How much? Because you was like, I know my worth. So
I know my worth, but that question right there, a piece
what is
of
your
art,
value? Yes,
man, that could be a hard question, because the one thing that popped in my head was like $500,000, but I know I could be worth more than that. Someone told me, which was shocking, someone told me earlier that they could not afford me. So they can only, they could not afford me, but they can put a down payment on me.
They go work up to it.
They can work up to it.
Are you
because
taking down
I'm
payment?
worth that much that they cannot afford me.
Mhm.
So I laughed at it, but then I also thought of it as like, wow, the person who said that looks at me like I'm up here.
And you're worth it to them.
And
Yeah.
yes, and they said it's priceless. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that question is still funny because I'm just like, and it's crazy because I know my worth, but I'm still like, I don't
Yeah.
know. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. Yeah.
So so you guys, think about that really. Like, first of all, art is dependent on your eye. It's
Yes.
dependent on what you would like to embody pretty much in terms of if you're setting an atmosphere or you're setting a tone. So if you had to set an atmosphere or a tone in your life based on how you value yourself or how you value your things, then what does that look like? What does it cost, like, and even that value in what you do for a living, what does that cost? Like, people who want to be entrepreneurs, or even people who want to teach, or spread the word of God, or whatever, whatever job you have that you want to do, there's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That is the price that you pay. And so you have to decide, is this thing that I'm going after, that I'm fighting for, this destiny that I'm seeking to fulfill, is it worth any sacrifice? And if so, what sacrifice am I going to be willing to go for, be willing to do?
Some people are scared of that sacrifice too.
Yeah, but sometimes that fear makes you stay where you are, which
Yeah.
means you don't value it enough to move beyond fear,
Right.
and to activate your faith and go forward in that. And so with me, okay, if I was a piece of art, how much would I cost? Well, am I at an auction? Are y'all bidding on me?
Right. That part right there.
Because we would start, I mean, the thing about it is where I am now is not where I'm finishing.
True.
So if you wanted to put me as a piece of art today, and well, most people don't know that this art exists, but what's inside of me, people already meet me and say, you're a multimillionaire. Okay, so if I'm a multimillionaire, then yeah, it's gonna cost a few million to purchase this piece of art. And then, can you be bought is the thing too, because the plans that I have and the plans that God has given me for my future, if you're not willing to pay that price for me, like, say if somebody wanted you to just stop doing everything you were doing, and they just wanted to pay you to stop doing everything, everything you purpose to do. They want to stop you from reaching your destiny. Well, I tell people like this. The last time I did research was a few years ago. One plane is $850 million to purchase. That's not designing the interior or any of that. So if you want me to stop what I'm doing, the down payment would be $850 million for me. So I guess think about it with your goals, your destiny, like, if you were a piece of art, how much would you cost? And like, for me today, the value that I have over myself, I fought to get here. And I know you did too. We fought to get to this place. And so we've already given up so much, and so with that fight and with that journey, how much was it worth? Girl, how much did you lose?
A lot.
Tell us about it.
From the beginning?
No, you don't have to go all the way back.
mean,
No, you don't have to go. You can go back to when we reconnected. We reconnected in 2016.
Yes.
And so she was an entirely different person. And the funny thing is that everything you want to become, you really already are. So she was already interested in certain things that she still does now. It's just on a different level because that value went up.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about what it took for you to get just from there to here. That's 2016. And, welcome to 2023. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
But yeah, tell us a little about that chapter in your life, those chapters.
Well, when we reconnected in 2016, I was a totally different person. And I had to sacrifice a lot, like housing, cars, work,
Mhm.
children, not really children, but their education. I had to
Mhm.
sacrifice their education and everything. And I feel like my journey from then to now, if I didn't make those sacrifices that I mentioned, I wouldn't be at this table right now talking to Tara. I wouldn't be able to help others in the community that I'm doing now. I wouldn't be able to share my journey or my story if I didn't make those sacrifices. And even back then, I had a lot of fear, but I also was wavering back and forth in my faith. So if you do not trust God completely, then you can't make no sacrifice. You're not going to change. You're not going to chase your destiny. You're not going to do anything because you're still going to be in that puddle.
Mhm. And let's just share this too, right there, where you say if you don't trust God. I think most people don't know what God's love feels like. And so they don't
No.
value themselves, the way God sees us. And people always throw out the scripture, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. But do you really believe that though? Like,
Mhm.
are you fearfully walking in fear? Are you walking in fear, or are you fearfully and wonderfully made, in terms of others can stand in awe of you because of the God in you?
Yeah, and when you say fearfully, some people probably would think like they have all this fear. So if they have all this fear, they're not going to move forward. But you can have this fear and trust in Him. Like I had a whole lot of fear. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how I was getting there. But I did trust in Him because I would wake up and be like, I know you got this, Lord. You gonna help me
Mhm.
get through this. I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
You know.
And then the value in that relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
too. And so for us, like y'all know, Tea Time with Tara is business and Bible basics. And so everything that I've gotten in terms of business came from my time with God. And so, if you value that relationship, I know some people value their spirituality, and I'm not talking about religion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
talking about your faith in God. And everybody on this page should know, like I believe the Bible. Do I believe it literally? Sometimes, but I believe the teachings of the Bible. And so valuing that and valuing that relationship with God and taking that time to spend with God will prepare you forward.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to fill up on like anything, if you're depressed and you don't know who you are, well, your identity is in Christ, and so placing that value on your relationship with God is what helps you to start love yourself better.
Yes, because I love me some Fatama. And I was not like this. I love myself. I value myself. I put myself first. I've always been doing for
Mhm.
others and forgot about me. But you can now I'm gonna let you all know. I don't quote the Bible and the scriptures. I don't know it, but I know the relationship that I have in Christ. And so for me, I just lost my train of thought. It was going to be so good. But the love that I have for myself is the same love that God have in me.
Mhm.
So there's no way that I am going to down myself, talk negative about myself, treat myself bad. No, I can't continue it. This is what I was going to say. I'm so sorry. You can continue to do, and do for others and forget about yourself. You can continue to keep praying for others and keep praying for others and praying for others, but then you forget about yourself. God doesn't want you to forget about yourself. He wants you to love others like He loves you. He wants you to do for others like He do for you. But if you don't do for yourself, how can you do for and help others? So you
Right.
have to be able to focus on yourself to be able to do His work for others. So
Yeah. Thank you. And then sometimes let's go back even into that, into, having time with God, having time to do for yourself.
yeah.
I don't know if all of you know, but most of you should know by now that Tea Time with Tara started because I was in a bad marriage and did not have time for myself. I was a mother of three, and or maybe pregnant. I don't know. My pregnancies were back to back. So I started Tea Time with Tara behind the scenes by myself at first because I needed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have me. So if I had 5 minutes, y'all, to just take a shower, to literally hurry up and clean my body and down a hot cup of tea, boiling hot, because I only had 3 minutes to warm the water up, and down that, then I was okay. And so I know, people struggle with that, finding time for you, or that coming out of depression or fighting depression. And so when you're in those situations where you feel like I don't even care. I had lost me. I had lost my identity. You've got to place so much value on yourself that when you lose yourself, you're willing to go through that fight and take it one day at a time. Like starting off with 5 minutes a day for myself changed the trajectory of my life. And so that 5 minutes grew to 15 minutes. My showers got a little better, y'all, because that little quick whole bath ain't doing nothing. But it's something else when you have more time to give to yourself. And even now, this is years and years later, and even now I'm just getting to my own skincare. Like sometimes you don't have time to do for you, but if you can just keep growing in that, keep just adding one thing at a time at your own pace, but don't forget to place value on you. Know what matters. And if you're empty, or if if you disappear yourself, or you're not on your own plate, that how in the world does anything else even matter if you don't?
Yeah.
So, you want to have any last words to share? Any last piece of advice or anything about the topic
I think
or about your journey that you want to share?
I wanted to piggyback off what you were saying about taking time for yourself, whether it's the 5, the 10, the 15 minutes. I know with that, you told me that a long time ago, back in 2016. So it took, 2016, 17, maybe 2019 for me to really add that type of value within myself.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like, not growing up in the church setting, and I'm not religion, but to have that relationship that I have with God, I added value and time for myself. I've been doing yoga for 4 years, and I do yoga twice a day and add prayer. So of course, yes, I don't just wake up and go to bed and pray. Right? Like what we're taught.
Traditional
The
stuff, which
traditional
is
saying,
that's
like your mother teach you, you
Yeah.
pray before you go to bed, you pray for your food, or you bless your food, and you
And it's
pray when
nothing
you
wrong
wake
with
up in the morning.
doing those
No,
things.
no.
But you got to do more for your relationship with
And that
God.
is true. So the reason why when someone say, oh, well, you do yoga twice a day. Well, yes, I have the time to do yoga twice a day because I made that time.
Right.
And within that time, adding a little bit of meditation, that is my quiet time with God. Everybody quiet time with God is going to look different. It's not going to be the way you do it, how I do it, how others do it. But as long as you take that time in your day with Him, you're going to be seeing stuff popping out of the woodworks like that's happening for you, because you actually, just like you have relationships with human life, right?
Yeah.
You take the time out to go out. You take the time out to go to work. You take the time out to
cultivate those relationships.
Yeah. So why can't we do the same with God? You see what I'm saying?
And ourselves.
And ourselves. So yes, that yoga twice a day, meditating, having that alone time with Him. And then my phone goes off on different timers. I have scriptures that'll go off to have me reflect in that moment, to take another 5-10 minutes to reflect on what just popped up so I can read it, right?
Right.
And that helps me. And that gets me to the next level for my journey. I feel like if I didn't have that, if I didn't sacrifice, if I didn't learn to grow in grace, or have a best friend to help me get to that point, because you also got to think, like, God is going to use everybody.
Yeah, and it puts people around you for your journey too. Some that you learn lessons from that are, not so sweet.
Exactly. But we need that, right?
Right.
Because that's going to help us. That's going to help us continue to grow and learn.
Right.
And then whatever you're learning, then you're going to be able to
sometimes people
pass it
treating
to the
you
next.
not the good way shows you that you're worth more than that.
Exactly.
So, guys, Thank you, Fatama. I
You're
keep wanting
welcome.
to call her Tammy, y'all, because that's what I call her. But thank you so much for being on the Tea Time with Tarah show today.
You're welcome.
Everybody, remember, you have a voice and it needs to be heard. And I just want to leave you all with this quote by me. It's about change. Change takes time and is a process. Be willing to wait and allow time to work because things could come out better than imagined. Okay? So think about that when you're going forward in this journey and you're figuring out your value and what you value. Knowing what matters is important and accepting that change is important as well, y'all. So thank you for tuning in today. I'll be back next month with another guest. So stay tuned.